Hi, my name is Alexia Hernandez, and I'm here with Kristian. We thought we'd start off with a very famous piece, Adam Reaching Out to God, located in the Sistine Chapel, created by the very famous artist Michelangelo. In this work of Adam reaching out to God, we question the connection that is trying to be made here. And who is trying to make the connection, Adam or God?
But it looks as if Adam is hardly reaching out to God. Is Adam being lazy?
God is definitely the one reaching out here. In fact, he is reaching out to make a connection with his greatest creation, mankind. Maybe so Adam is just being lazy, or maybe he is afraid, but he is curious. If he does lift a finger, he will make the connection. The desire seems to be there, but it's not backed up by strength. Yet, God wants Adam to want him, at least want him enough to lift a finger. It's like the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Why is there a gap between them?
The gap between their fingers represents not only the gap between the divine and human, but the gap that is required in faith. After all, the opposite of faith is not doubt, but certainty.
Here we have Kandinsky's piece called Composition 7, which was created a year before World War I began. Now, just to touch bases with Kandinsky himself, he focused on abstract expressionism, which focused on emotion and spiritual truth. Now, when I first glanced at this piece, I instantly got a feel for a fairy tale type of setting that evolved around music, where the dark colors he used represents low-pitched tones, and the brighter colors represent high-pitched tones.
The setting he uses looks very cluttered, with many ideas in it. What do you think his ideas were?
Well, as we know, it's an abstract painting that looks to express a number of things. Like, for example, at the top of the piece, you almost see a bridge going towards the horizon, as if Kandinsky is taking us on a journey through his art piece. Some people argue that his idea for Composition 7 is to somewhat destroy and renew different ideas and perspectives, and in order to create that, Kandinsky has to wipe out old things to create new things.
Kandinsky titled his piece Composition 7. Why do you think he named it this?
Well, the term composition can imply a metaphor with music, and Kandinsky was fascinated by music's emotional power. He knew that music expressed itself through sound and time, allowing the listener a freedom of imagination. And as I stare at this piece, that's exactly what my mind is doing. My imagination takes over, and suddenly I see many images within.
Let's take a look at both images. We see two very different images. Michelangelo's piece mixes both matter and spirituality, while Kandinsky's piece focuses on an orchestra setting.
Yeah, we do have two completely different images. I noticed that Kandinsky doesn't really focus on one visual point. You kind of have to let your mind wander and analyze his piece.
What's so interesting about both of these pieces is how they connect spiritually. Michelangelo gives a very upfront connection through the visual we see in the gap between Adam's hand and God's hand.
Yeah, Kandinsky takes a different route when expressing his spirituality through his work by basing it on his own beliefs, and gives the viewer the freedom to view and believe what they want, and gives their own perspective also.